You don't have the life you want because you don't live the life you want. And I know that sounds really weird, but let me explain. Too many people get caught up in the distraction of what they see around them. They feel as if what they experience in the physical world is exactly what is they're living. But that is just simply not the reality. In truth, when you actually start to take a step back, you'll realize that a lot of what you see is simply distraction. What a lot of people say is simply a lie. A lot of what you experience on the day to day is nothing more than an illusion created by your mind to give you a sense of security. And the reason I say that is I have been living a completely different life, yet nothing has changed besides what I see and how I see it. And it's been able to open up a lot of doors for me because it makes me realize just how different the world was than the perception I had beforehand. So let's start at the beginning. First and foremost, you have to live the life you want before you have the life you want. Where does this come from and how does this make sense? I have to be living the life I want to get the life I want. Well, I want to be living a life with a Bugatti, with a Maserati, but I have to live that life before I get it, so I need to drive a Maserati and a Bugatti before I can get it. Yes, in your mind. And the reason this is so important, the brain does not know the difference between a joke and reality. The brain doesn't know the difference between what you imagine and what is actually happening. So, what we actually live on a day to day basis is simply what our brain conjured up as a reality for what's normal. Your brain sets up conditions around you based on the patterns you experience that tell you this is what reality is and this is how reality should be. Those people over there with the Maseratis, the Bugattis, the nice house, the nice car, the nice family, those I'm not one of those people. And so when you're coming at things from that perspective, you can never see an opportunity to actually become one of those people. Versus if you flip that paradigm on your head, on its head, excuse me, and you say, no, I'm a person who drives a Maserati, I'm a person who drives a Bugatti, this is what I do. And you start living through that frame of reference saying, I am this person. How do I make my reality reflect it? Then you start seeing the opportunities and the chances for you to elevate based around that viewpoint, that perspective. You losing your job might not be, oh my God, I lost my job. Now I'm out of work. Life is horrible. It might be, oh, God finally just gave me the push to start that business I want. Oh, God is finally giving me the chance to do this. And it all comes around that frame of reality of what's the life you're living? Who are you? What's your identity? What is the thing that dictates your life? Because again, a lot of people will say it's what they experience around them. But if that were true, then nobody who was born poor would ever end up rich. Nobody who came from humble beginnings would ever be able to experience a better life because what they experienced in the moment before they had that elevation and climb was what they based their life off of. They had to start living from a reality of this is the life that I want, so I choose to live it now. And how do you do that? Well, this is what I've done. First and foremost, I created a personal manifesto that tells me this is the life I'm living. I have it written in the perspective of first person, so anytime I listen to it, I hear this is what I'm currently living now. I currently have hundreds of thousands of people following me on YouTube, and so I treat my YouTube as such. I already read it as I have hundreds of $1,000s put away. I have thousands of dollars put in savings. And so I treat life as if that's already happened. I know that I'm a multi-million-dollar business owner. And so when it comes to actually talking about my business, actually trying to sell someone on personal training, I know I've already helped hundreds of thousands of people, at least in my brain. So when I go to talk to somebody and say, hey, I can help you get to where you want to be, I can help you change your fitness reality. I'm able to say that with conviction because in my mind, I'm living from a place of I've already helped thousands of people. You're no different and you're no specialer than any of them. No specialer? You're no specialer than anyone. And so once you get that frame of mind and frame of reference down and you have that personal manifesto, from there, you need to start reading it and then starting to figure out how to live it. So, how I would explain that to you would be for example, I know based on my personal manifesto, on Mondays, I write out ideas for Instagram. On Tuesdays, I script out those ideas. On Wednesdays, I start collecting B roll. On Thursdays, I start to um, do my A roll shots, do my sitting head videos. On Fridays, I actually start editing. Saturdays is when I do all my YouTube stuff. And Sundays is when I start scheduling and posting everything out. Now, I know exactly what I'm doing. And now, to be able to actually say that I am that guy for my personal manifesto, I just need to make that process happen during the week because that's a part of the life that I want to live. I know as the person I want to be. On Mondays, I do this, on Tuesdays, I do that, etc., etc. And so by starting to do that now, then it becomes a habit, then it becomes normal, then it becomes what I'm used to and the only way I can see living life. And when it gets to the point where that's the only way I can see living life, then that's the life that becomes normal for me. But I again must start by living it first. I must embody it first. I must be it first. And then everything else will pour into me. So you get that personal manifesto, you read it, you know exactly what it is, and then you start acting as if that's your life. And that's the first sum of how to actually make it so that you can do whatever you want and you can live the life you actually want to live. But once you actually get to that point, now it becomes about the actionables, the steps. So, how do you actually continue that process to merge the gap of the life you want to live before the life you want to live? Well, once you actually know what are the normal days for me supposed to look like, then you need to start crafting what is the normal environments for me to look like. You need to start actually taking the time to put the building blocks in place to create that life you want. So, again, for me, as somebody who wants to make a bunch of money online through personal training, but also a personal brand, I understand that I need to do community outreach. I need to be more of someone who's comfortable being on social media. So every single day, I'm planning time to actually sit down and engage with other people on social media. Get into get used to actually being someone who's on their phone, on social media, connecting with new people, trying to gain followers, trying to build rapport in that type of way because I know the person of my future gets paid for doing that. So I have to live that life before I have that life. I need to start doing it now, not being paid for making these comments, not being paid for reaching out, not being paid for making these videos. So that once I get to the point where I'm being paid for it, I'm used to it. It's normal, it's typical. That's how life is. And so once I can go through that process, then I'm in the process, I'm in the moment, and I'm able to actually make this something a reality. That third step to actually solidify everything is to build a brand around it, but also monetize it. So, building a brand around the lifestyle you're starting to live gives you the ability to really live the lifestyle you want because as you grow into that lifestyle, your brand should grow and develop with you. Now, they go hand in hand. Your brand or a brand in store, in any sense, is a story that reminds somebody of a situation where an outcome was made, right? So, situation with The Rock. He ended up going, trying for the NFL. He failed. He went back home with his father, tried the WWE, became a big name, ended up going and doing movies, and now he's one of the biggest stars in the world. Snoop Dogg, LA legend. He ended up going to Crenshaw High School, ended up, I don't know if he graduated now that I think about it, but ended up finishing at Crenshaw High School, becoming a gangbanger, starting to rap, met Tupac. Now he's one of the most famous people ever. The brand Snoop Dogg, the story that is Snoop Dogg, is a thug and drug dealer turned famous rapper movie star. The story you're building, the brand you're building gives you the ability to live the life you want. Because as you grow in the life you want, as you grow as the person you want to be, as you grow, you get to show people the process. And that process motivates other people to actually make change. Then that gives you an opportunity to pay those people to help them change and go through the same system that you went through. So not only are you building the life you want to live, building the person you want to be, but you're also able to build other people's lives, help other people become the people they want to be. But more importantly, you've given yourself the chance through personal development to actually make an income and make as much as you want. And if that interests you, if being able to create a new version of yourself, really look at the dreams you want to live, start living that life now, and then actually be able to monetize that and make money on the back end and scale up and grow, is something that interests you, hit the link in the description. It'll take you to my course where I break down the character creation process, how to go from who you are today to the person of your dreams, and how to bridge the gap from being that person to creating the life you actually want to live, living that life, and getting paid to show the journey of you becoming that person and creating that movie. If that interests you, hit the link in the description, get the character creation compass, and make sure to go on the journey of a lifetime. Stay smart, stay safe. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next video.